Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to Psychology Everyday, day 41. Today, I'm going to teach you all 10 of the personality disorders in 10 minutes. So, let's get right to it. I'm going to switch over the cam. Here we go. This is how I learn things as fast as possible. And, here we have all 10 of them. And these are clusters: cluster A, cluster B, cluster C. And I like to do abbreviations like this. So in the cluster A, we have paranoid, personality disorder, comes after each of these. Paranoid, schizoid, schizotypal. And then in the cluster B, we have antisocial, borderline, histrionic, narcissistic. In cluster C, we have avoidant, dependent, and obsessive. So we have PSS, ABHN, or ABN, and ADO. And these people are those. But first, we're going to go through cluster A, which is a weird person, odd and eccentric. Paranoid means they are suspicious, thinks others want them ill. Schizoid, it's more limited emotions, few close relationships, seems cold, doesn't really respond to either critique or compliments. Schizotypal is more of the very odd, which is eccentric and superstitious, believes in magic thinking. So, say it again: PSS. Cluster B. This is a person that most of you have met sometimes. They're very dramatic, emotional, wild. The antisocial part is quite, not that common, and it has to do with low empathy, impulsive, and no remorse. And oftentimes these people are criminals. However, borderline and histrionic means that they are very surface level, both emotionally and they seem very charming and cute, but they also behave risky and have problems with relationships. A narcissist thinks they are special, better than others, so they use others, but they are sensitive to critique on the inside. Cluster C, anxious and afraid. They avoid social environments because they feel inferior, they are afraid of social environments. They are dependent, or they might be dependent, which means they have a tough time making their own decisions. They have a fear of an abandonment, and they do too much to make others like them. Obsessive, is a bit different than the other one, but this is basically a perfectionist. This might, seem sort of like autism, but it's not the same thing. They micromanage everyone else, and they are very annoying. So, let's talk about these three people, and you probably know at least one of them. You have the cluster A, which we talked about, is odd and eccentric. This guy, PSS as we call him, he is a former security guard, now living on welfare because of what he saw in the in his line of work, and he became sick because of it, he says. He lives alone, doesn't trust anyone, and he writes down the plates of cars passing by his house. Now here we have cluster B, drama, and her name is Aben. She works as a barista, but she wants to be an influencer or an OnlyFans model. She's currently living at a friend's place, just for now. And she's very charming and charismatic, but is also explosive, and she will love you like no one else until she gets bored of you, and then she doesn't care about you at all. And here we have poor Ado, which lives with his mom and has worked in the same office for 20 years. He is kind, but he has no friends. He doesn't want to be alone, but he is afraid of getting hurt. Now, let's try it again, because we still have 5 minutes, and I promise you we're going to learn them. So cluster A, PSS. Cluster B, Aben. Cluster C, Ado. Now try and close your eyes and, try to remember what is the cluster A. And it is PSS. And you know, this guy, if you open your eyes again, psst, it's kind of suspicious. Paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal. Now, the difference between schizoid, who, is a cold bastard, basically, and schizotypal is that schizotypal is more of the very odd magic thinking, superstitions, close to delusional. Now, do you remember her name? The crazy drama queen, Aben. And what does that stand for? ABHN. Antisocial, borderline, histrionic, and narcissistic. What does that mean? Antisocial usually means criminal behavior, no remorse, impulsive, low empathy. Borderline, impulsive, risky behavior, fear of abandonment, has a very big problem with, relationships. Histrionic, surface level emotionality, performative, charming, usually very charming, but you have to remember it's all surface level, very hard to deal with. Narcissist. A narcissist thinks they are special, they are better than everyone else, and other people's, needs doesn't matter so much. However, they are very sensitive to critique. And then we have Ado, the little man living with his mother, and he is avoidant. He has social phobia, feels inferior socially. He is dependent. He can't make his own decisions. He has a fear of abandonment, and that is why he still lives with his mom. He does too much for, because he wants other people to like them. Now, he's not obsessive, but cluster C can be obsessive. That means they can't delegate responsibilities. They micromanage others. They have to follow the rules. Other people also has to follow the rules. They are perfectionist. They also strongly believe that this is the right way to be, and they don't want to change because this is how things are supposed to be. So again, we have PSS. Do you remember? Paranoid, schizoid, schizotypal, PSS. Then we have Aben, antisocial, borderline, histrionic, narcissistic. Drama. And then we have poor Ado, who is so anxious. He wants to travel, but he can't get out of his house, living with his mom, even though he is still 40 years old. He has no friends, but he wants friends. He has no girlfriend, but he wants a girlfriend. But he is too afraid. So say it you now. PSS. What does it stand for? 3, 2, 1. Paranoid, schizoid, schizotypal. Aben, antisocial, borderline, histrionic, narcissistic. Ado, avoidant, dependent, obsessive. Avoidant, he avoids social environments. He is dependent upon his mom, and he is, Ado isn't obsessive, but he could have been. So remember this and keep using abbreviations. And that is actually just 9 minutes. So use this remaining minute to subscribe, like, and comment. And if you still haven't got it, wait 5 minutes, then try to remember without looking. And then if you still don't got it, watch it again. And when it becomes easier and easier, watch the video again with your eyes closed and try to predict the personality disorders and try to remember the persons. Good luck, everyone, and I hope you have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.